Okay, welcome to day one of our Connected Summit. I'm so excited that you guys are on. Thank you so much for being on live today. It means the world to us that you would invest your time here with us today. So, man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm going to make you wait just a minute though until we reveal our big announcement. I'm like literally squirming in my chair. Okay. It's probably a good thing we're not in person live. I probably would be like spitting all over people or something. I don't know. I'm so pumped. But anyhow, okay, so we are jumping in today. If you have never been here before, this is a 3-day summit. We lay it all out for 3 days at 12 o'clock every day. We'll be on here live on Zoom. These are all recorded, so they'll go into a replay link that we'll email out to you afterwards. There's a workbook that was in your email that you can print off, and you can follow along, take notes, because the replays will be available for a week to watch. And then we end up taking those down because I know how I am. If I have the length of my entire life to watch something, sometimes I don't ever go back and watch it. So we'll take those down in a week. So if you want to take notes, print off that workbook, take your notes on there, and then you'll have it for whenever you need it. There's also a discovery call available to you. I block my calendar off for the week of summits to take calls. I do free 30-minute coaching calls during these summits. So if you would like to book that, Katie has my Calendly link. If you can drop that in the comments or in the chat when you get a second. It's also in your email. You can get on there and book a call so we can just connect and see if there are any ways that we can support you in your mental, physical, or spiritual well-being. Let's see here. So Kate, I'll introduce Katie also. So she's my assistant. She has helped me so much. I want to shout her out right now and tell her how much I appreciate her. I know I tell her in text and all those things, and but this would not be possible if it weren't for her. So thank you, Katie, for all that you do. If everyone knew what she did, oh my goodness, I really appreciate her so much. She has worked her tail off this past week, finalizing a few things on the back end with me, so that we can bring you guys something amazing. So thank you, Katie. Okay, so a little bit about me really quickly, and then we're jumping right in because these summits go fast. I pack a ton of information in them, and I always feel like I get to go in and talking really quickly because I want to fit it all in. And we have a lot to cover this summit, especially. So I started out, went to school for an RN degree. I was so excited to be a nurse and help people and do all these amazing things. And then I realized pretty quickly that, I don't really know about all this. I don't know if I agree with all of these things. So I did a complete 180, used the midwife with our 3 kiddos, started really paying attention to what we eat and what we're putting in our bodies, on our bodies. And then I decided not to go back to work as an RN full time. I didn't want to do that with my kiddos. So I decided to pursue massage therapy. And I learned a lot in that field also, and how the body stores energy, how our physical body is really connected with our emotions and how we feel and past traumas and all of these things. And so bringing this together, I started working on myself as well. I had some gut issues. After my second baby, my body was in a mess. I had some gut issues, severe adrenal fatigue, Epstein-Barr virus, low vitamin D, low iron. I was just not in a great place. I did not feel good. It was really tough to even get up in the mornings. My energy was obviously low, but I probably had some postpartum depression that I didn't recognize or want to admit at the time. But just not in a great place, and I worked on myself in the physical sense. I took the supplements, I changed my diet, I got more sleep, the babies started growing up. I wasn't being nursed on all the time, and I was able to sleep a little bit more, which I love my kids. Like, I love them. I would not trade that season for anything. I'm super grateful to have had the opportunity to do that. At the same time, I was completely drained and exhausted. And I had started, doing better, sleeping, taking the supplements, changing the diet, doing all the physical things that I was told to do, which were helpful, very helpful. And I still was not just like, I didn't have a spark about me. Like, I just wasn't super excited about life. I complained about everything. I saw the negative in everything of why nothing was working out. And just my mindset did not serve me at all. And I did not realize to what extent until I started working on it and becoming aware of my thoughts and connecting my thoughts with how my body was feeling. And then connecting beyond that, beyond just my physical body, but my connection with other people. When we started talking about manifestation and things like that, I was like, whoa, you mean to tell me I have energy and that this energy is impacting all of my relationships, all of my opportunities in life, my career, my everything. Everything is energy. And the law of attraction, I believe, is a very real thing. So as I kind of went down this path of, yes, I did the physical things, and the physical body made sense to me in the beginning. And then I started working on my mindset, and I understood how my mind was really impacting my body. And so beyond that, I had a religious background, and I thought I had a very spiritual connection with God, but my view of God has changed quite a bit to an all-encompassing, like I have a long ways to go still. I will never claim to be perfected in anything. My understanding of the power of God and my connection to God and deep spiritual connection has really grown a lot in the past couple of years, as I have been able to just relax into my faith instead of try to force it. And as I trust God more and more to bring about experiences in my life that I don't have to be scared of just because they're unknown to me. So it's been a really cool journey. And I have such a deep passion now. I started an evidence journal a few years ago because I would not have believed these things had I not experienced them for myself. And so I have such a deep conviction and a deep passion now to help other people get to have, I just call it an elevated experience of life, because I don't know any other words to use to describe it. But there's not a whole lot of things. I mean, there's a few things in my external world that have changed, but for the most part, I still live in the same town, still married to the same man, still have the same kids, still do some of the same job. My job is changing also, but there's a lot of opportunities that are, the seeds are planted and they're growing. They're not quite to fulfillment on some things, but there's so much happening in my world that there are some things that have not changed. There are some things that are changing, but what I'm trying to get at is that even though it didn't take everything changing around me and everyone else changing around me for me to get to experience life differently. I still live in America. The politics are still politics. The food's still the food. The system is still the system. I'm still in it, but my experience of it is drastically different. And I really have a strong desire for each and every one of you to get to have like a magical experience of life. And so anyhow, that's kind of what we're here for. So you can change your energy. And here's the thing. We can't force anything else outside of us to change. Like the change truly does happen within us. And that used to annoy me to death to hear that. But it's true. And I experimented on myself, and then now I'm here to share it with you. So thank you so much for being here today. So let's jump right into energy. When I hear the word energy, I used to kind of just turn it off and think it was woo-woo and it's weird and this stuff is like fluffy and I don't know about it. But the more I really started giving some things a chance, when I would read things about manifestation or energy or things like that, I don't jump on board necessarily with what, say, Neville Goddard. He's been influential in my life to understand these things, but I don't believe everything that he believes. I still have retained my own, I'll just be very honest with you. Like I'm a Christian, I claim to be a Christian. And so I still have my own set of religious and spiritual beliefs. And I also am noticing a very strong correlation between what these people over here are saying and what the Bible says. And so I'm kind of understanding things in a different way now. And so it's been kind of neat to put those two things together. So energy, I thought Ed Mila had a really great explanation of how does all this actually work? Because sometimes when you get into this, it's like you either have to be on one path or the other. You're either religious or you're spiritual, but you can't be both. And so he said, he was doing a podcast interview with, I forgot who he was doing it with. Anyhow, I guess it doesn't really matter. But they were at the ocean, at his house, right beside the ocean. And he said, look out there at the ocean. When you look out there, you don't even have to see it. You can hear it, you can smell it, you can feel a very strong energy from the ocean. That is power right there. And I believe that that was created by something more powerful than me. And so energy and connection to the divine and power are all the same thing. You can't deny the powerful energy of the ocean. And so that's all it is. It's nothing to be scared of. And so, as we start here on page 3, it says, going through seasons of life and taking on new roles require us to adapt and evolve our identity. Our energy comes so much from the thoughts that we have about ourselves, from the identity that we claim. So a lot of us will sit here in an identity of who we were in the past, or an identity of XYZ happened to me and I'm a victim of those things, and that's why I am the way I am. When the truth of the matter is, yes, those may have happened, but that was one day or one season or one moment in life that you are continuing to repeat every single day because you have an identity that's tied to that emotional experience that you had. It created deep emotions. And so change happens through repetition or emotional impact. So most of the time, the emotional impact is a negative one that we perceive as a negative one, and we hold on to that very strongly, and we connect our identity to that moment. So, there are a ton of, maybe divorce is a big one. I'm a divorced person, or I'm a widowed person, or I came from a divorced family, or we were bankrupt, and so like now you have thoughts about money and your relationship with money. Health, even we identify with, I have this diagnosis, and so I have this problem, and I continue to develop and experience this problem. So your identity and what you claim, especially with your tongue and your mouth and your words, is very, very, very powerful. Okay, we starve ourselves of connection. When we starve ourselves of connection, we're depriving ourselves of living a full life. I think that there is a big disconnect happening in our world. I mean, social media, like all of the tech things can be great, and in a way we are connected in it differently now than what we were, but that energetic connection is missing when we're not live with people, feeling their energy. Like even being on Zoom is awesome, and I can feel people's energy. Like when I see your name, I'm like, oh, like I instantly think of who you are energetically, and I hope that you can feel my energy even through a screen. At the same time, if we were together in person, it would be different, and now so many people have anxiety about being around people. And I think so much of that stems from us not being in control of our own energy. So we're impacted by other people and their energy, and it is almost intimidating to be around them, or we don't like it because we don't want to experience what they're experiencing. So anyhow, when we are disconnected, either from other people, from our maker, from ourselves. I think as moms, I heard a mom say, I feel like I'm just living outside of my body. Like I'm not even in here. I'm just going through the motions. And, that is a big part of unconsciousness. We separate ourselves from the life that we're living because for the most part, it might feel overwhelming. And so when we do that, though, not only are we disconnecting from what feels overwhelming, we're kind of disconnecting from feelings in general. Or if we go through a painful experience, or, something embarrassing or whatever, we're disconnecting emotionally from that. We're setting that aside, away from us, but we're also setting away the good emotions when we just cut ourselves off from feeling. So think through here. Where do you currently feel the most disconnected? Is it with the divine spiritual being? I call that God. Is it with your spouse? Is it with your family? Is it with nature? I think we are also very disconnected with nature. We're not outside near enough. And that is where I believe we're meant to be. I believe that we are meant to breathe fresh air. We are meant to feel the wind on our face. We're meant to feel the sunshine and have that connection with vitamin D, even, and all of those things. But I think there's a process that was made in creation that we were meant to be part of. And I hope that we make the time to get back to that. That's how things work, I believe. Anyhow, so, or is it just a disconnect with yourself? That's where I love for people to start, is with their self, because you can't change all those things around you, but you can most definitely start changing what's going on inside of you. So do you have a clear picture of who you are? Like, do you really know who you are? I think sometimes we go through life, we're a kid and that's our identity for the longest time, is who we've been told that we are. And then we start realizing, oh, I'm like a teenager now and I can be whatever I want to be, and I can go to college and I can be, whatever. I'm free. I have my freedom. And now who am I? And then, we take on this role of being a wife. And then we take on the role of being mom. We take on all these different roles that we kind of get wrapped up in, and it's not a bad thing. When I had my babies, I didn't realize how much I needed to circle back around to my marriage, because those babies take a lot from a mama. But I had to recircle back around and pour back into my marriage also. And then I recircled back around again and poured back into myself. And I started to just decide, like, not figure out who I am based off the past of what defines me, but who do I desire being? And could I just show up today and practice being her today? Just simply start practicing being who you want to be. It's not fake it till you make it, and we get this like imposter syndrome if we go be something different than what we've been. I just view it as I'm practicing being better every day. I'm practicing being my millionaire self. I'm practicing being healthy. I'm practicing being kind and thoughtful and considerate. I'm practicing listening to people. I'm practicing all kinds of things. We get so many opportunities each and every day to practice. So who are you? Who are you? Have you lost that, or have you forgotten that? And the thing is, we don't go backwards. Life's never going backwards. It's always moving forwards. And for a lot of us, sometimes we don't want it to. Change can feel scary. The unknown is uncertain. We don't like it. But we're not going back to a previous version of ourselves, even if it's a version we liked or a version we didn't like. So we can stop searching for that person. You get to develop who you are right now and who you're going to be. That's what you can do now. And that's kind of like that might be a hard truth bomb. I forget, like, that one was a little bit hard for me to swallow, and so, we could take a more gentle approach to that inside of coaching. But for today, just bringing that to awareness is like, well, okay, then, okay. So does this identity that you have of yourself, this picture that you have of yourself and who you identify to be, does that serve you? Does the view you have of yourself serve you? Do you like the person that you are? I'm not talking about, yes, I love myself and I care for myself, and loving yourself out of obligation because you're supposed to love yourself. I'm talking, do you like yourself? Do you enjoy being alone with yourself? So moving on from there, that might be some big awareness for some people. So our bodies are crying out with physical symptoms because we are depleted of simple life-giving things. I think this disconnection that we have from even down to our food source, we're not connected with our food. We're not growing our food. We're not butchering our food. We have no connection to the appreciation or the process of our food. It's just instant. There's no emotion there. There's no gratitude there. So, you know, our when you break this down, so our bodies are crying out with physical symptoms because we're depleted of simple life-giving things like nourishment, like food that we're proud to eat, that we have a connection to, like sunlight. We're depleted of sunlight. It is so sad to me. Most of us, I guess I can't speak for everyone, but for the most part, even me right now, I'm sitting inside. I've been inside all morning. I'm like itching to get outside. Our children, like, do we send them outside at least? If we can't get outside, do we send our kids outside? Do we make time to go be outside? I don't know. Take the laundry out there and fold it on a blanket on the grass. Get outside in the sunshine. We're depleted of human touch. I've noticed this in massage therapy. I've had clients come to me that literally when I touch their body, their nervous system freaks out. It goes haywire. It can't handle human touch, is not used to it. And it's especially younger girls, college age kids, high school kids. Their nervous system is not all of them. I keep grouping things together. Please know that when I say things, I know that it's not everyone. But I think a large portion of people this is true for. But anyhow, we're depleted of human touch. There's power in human touch. The Bible says there's power in human touch. I've experienced the power of human touch. I touch people all day long and I can feel their body change, not necessarily by the pressure that I apply, just simply by the touch and the energy that I intentionally transfer to them. So when we deplete ourselves of these things, our physical body will start showing us signs and symptoms. It will cry out for help for what it needs. Red flags, you know? So, okay, our mental health instability, that's on the physical side. Our mental health instability suffers from a lack of purpose, I believe. And this comes through connection. When we don't feel we have purpose, when we don't feel needed, we don't feel like we have value to give to other people, it really impacts our mental health and our stability and our reason for living and showing up every day. I think a big part of that also comes from the fear of rejection. We don't want to add value to the world because we don't know if other people will see it as valuable. We don't know if other people will be accepting of it. But the thing is, sometimes it's not that they reject you. They might just reject what you say. They might not have the same beliefs. It's okay. Successful people become very okay with being rejected. So it's okay. And I just encourage you to give your gifts to the world, whether the world receives them or not. Someone out there needs what you have. And if not for them, then do it for you because it satisfies your soul to give your gifts. And I promise you, there's someone out there that you will come in contact with by way of law of attraction that will receive what you have to give and who actually is probably looking for the very thing that you could offer them. And it doesn't have to be anything big. Like I'm talking small acts of kindness go a long ways. So, and then our souls. So we talked about physical, we talked about the mental, and our souls can become depleted of fulfillment because they also lack energetic connection. So think about vacuuming the floor. You go in, you vacuum the floor, and you put the vacuum up and you're like, it's not getting clean though. Like I'm sitting here, I'm going through the motions. I've got the vacuum out. It is on the carpet and it's going back and forth, but it's not picking anything up. Did you stop long enough to plug it into the source of power? When we are connected to our source of power, the actions that we take in life become so much more efficient and so much more fun and just fulfilled. Like there is a deep satisfaction and fulfillment that comes from being divinely connected and then going and taking action. So, everything is made up of energy. Every atom, every molecule, everything. So the law of conservation of energy says that energy is neither created or destroyed. When used, it does not disappear. So we don't have to worry about doing too much and being tired. Like, yes, we rest. And I think that that is important. But in my mind, a while back, I had this mindset that I didn't have enough energy for the day. Like I was going to run out of energy if I did too much. I have found that that is not true. Honestly, the opposite is true. Like if I do rest, and I think that you can't go all day every day. You have to honor your body and the process that has been made for you to have more energy. At the same time, when I go and I serve and I give, like when I show up and do these summits, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work behind the scenes. There's a lot of mental power that goes into these summits. And even spiritually, I would say it's a lot spiritually. It's just a lot. I love it though. Like I get energized from being here with you guys. So yeah, I'm exerting energy, but I'm also creating energy because energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's not going anywhere. It's just transformed. It's transformed into something else. The atomic bomb, a very small, they say it's like a thimble like what you would put on your finger to sew with. That amount of mass, when it meets, I think it's light squared, the energy of light squared, which I think is pretty cool because I think about like the light of the world squared. That explosion creates into the atomic bomb by a very small amount of energy and mass. When it meets a catalyst, it then creates a whole different, massively huge explosion. That's the power of energy. When it meets a catalyst, when it meets the power. And I believe love and forgiveness and what God has to offer us to be that catalyst. Okay, moving on. Page 4. All right, when we nourish and nurture our body, mind, and spirit, it elevates our energy and raises our frequency. Frequency is such a real thing. They can measure it. It's measured in hertz, just like a radio station. The waves are all around us right now. All the radio station waves are around us. But what's your receptor set to? Are you set to receive what is right here? And if you don't like it, could you simply change the channel to a different one that you do like? When our frequency is raised, we start to have a different experience of the life we currently have. That's what I was talking about earlier. And then from this elevated transformed state, we also start attracting new experiences that match this new vibrational frequency. So let's say we're down here, we're operating in anger, we're operating in sadness, we're annoyed, nothing's working out, we're frustrated, we're operating down here. That vibrational frequency is very low. Then let's say what we desire is money, or something different in business, or a relationship, because once I get married, I'll be happy. Once we have money, we'll be at more peace, we'll feel free, we'll feel, I don't know, freedom, peace, those types of things. Once I get this new job, I'll be happy because I'll finally like what I do. And those emotions are up here, and your vibrational frequency is down here. Even if you got the job, your frequency is still down here. You're still not going to enjoy the job. Even if you get married, you're probably not going to enjoy your marriage, or you're going to attract a spouse that's vibrating down here with you, that's on the same frequency with you. You want a great job, you have to be a match to a great job. You want more money, you have to be a match to more money. Add more value to the world. Make yourself more valuable if you want to receive the energetic exchange of money. So frequency I evidence journal on this a lot too, because I'm like, well, I was feeling this way and this is all the things that happened. And I'm super excited for a guest speaker who's coming on Friday, because I know she's experienced this in her life. We've talked since then, and she's like, Lauren, doors of opportunity, just one after another after another. I'm like, and it's her energy. She's meeting those opportunities. The opportunities are there. They're there for everyone. It's just a matter of whether you are a match to it. Money's floating around everywhere. The possibility to be healthy. There are options out there. They're everywhere. Spouses, people are everywhere. Like it's out there. Are you a match to it? So many people have it backwards as they're waiting on the outside circumstances to change in order to feel better and be a different person. So it's not that all this is changing and then you're going to decide to meet it. That's not how it works. That's how we want it to work. That'd be way easier because that makes it everything else's fault. But when and this isn't here to put blame or shame, but for me, that's where I was at. I blamed everything outside of me for the reason why I was the way I was. Well, maybe if I were to change, then the things outside of me might change and I might meet it. This is when quantum leaps happen. It happens when you change your energy to then not only are you going towards it, but now it's being attracted towards you and you meet it faster. So the change comes from within first, and because that's what you can control. You can control your energy. You must first become a vibrational match to that which you desire, or you will never be able to receive it in its full capacity. You might receive parts of it and portions of it, but let's say you're wanting to build a new house or whatever, but you're not actually a match to that. You're going to hate the process probably. It's going to stress you plumb out, and you're going to get in there and probably find things that you don't like about it and just not enjoy the process. But when you become a match to it, then you not only enjoy the end result, but you enjoy the journey getting to there, which is where you're going to spend the bulk of your time. So you might as well find a way to enjoy the getting there just as much as you enjoy the being there. That's good. I think I need to write that down and make a post. Okay. All potential already exists in the quantum field. So, Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza has a lot of good information on this as far as the potential already existing in the quantum field and all of those things. So, because creation is finished. And I just realized I still have my glasses on. Hello. So creation is finished. And the way I see it is like with my kiddos, I love it when they create things. I love to be able to supply them with pen, paper, markers, scissors, glue. And then I'm like, go make something cool out of what I provided for you. So the creation of the provision is here for us. What will we make from it though? What will we put together out of what we've been given? So are you currently a match to what is available to you? I would answer that yes or no. Do you feel like you're a match to what is available to you out here that you might desire? And are you in a state of flow, open to receive it? Because just like the radio waves, it's there. Are you matched up to it and open to receiving it? The next question on page 5 is, do you feel worthy? This is a big one. This is one that I have struggled with myself. And almost every client that I come in contact with struggles with feeling worthy and capable of what it is that they desire. Do you believe you have the capability to change who you are, how you show up in the world, your emotions? When I say change who you are, there's a basic blueprint that I think all of us have, and I'm not into making you be something that you absolutely are not. I'm into peeling back a few extra layers that have been added in that aren't necessary for you to shine in your fullest potential of who you were created to be. So when I say change who you are you willing to take those layers off and be that pure, truest form of yourself that you came in the world to be? So do you believe you have the capability to change how you show up in the world, your emotions, and ultimately your vibrational frequency? Can you change those things without the need for external circumstances to validate the change first? So you have to believe in yourself. Let's take business, for example. You have to believe in yourself and in what you do so much, especially in the beginning phases when no one else can see the path that you're desiring to take and what you have in store and what you're doing. before you ever meet success, you have to believe it is possible within yourself first. You have to believe yourself to be that already, because you have to show up as that. You have to show up as being successful. You have to make decisions that a successful person would make, even though you haven't seen the success over here. So, do you believe that you can do this within you first without the need for external circumstances to validate to you that you are worthy, that you are capable, that you are a good businesswoman, that you are a good mom? Like, do you need your kids to tell you you're a good mom before you believe that you're a good mom? What is it within you that you don't believe just yet? I was catching up on comments over here. You give me energy. Thanks for sharing your gift. Oh, thanks. Christy says, feeling worthy can sometimes be a long healing journey in itself, or it has been for me, but so very worth it. Yes, absolutely. I know Christy works with people too, in healing in different ways. And so she gets to see that a lot. It's a lot of it. I think it ties back to this identity piece of what we believe to be true about us. And so allowing ourselves the space to heal in those ways will impact our energy and impact every other thing around us, which is why this work, I'm so passionate about it. I know Christy is too. It's why it's so important to make time for these things. So, okay, have you worked on expanding your capacity to receive more? So here's an example too. So well, I'll just be vulnerable here. So let's take business again, for example, or even with my kids, had one kid. Oh, that's awesome. Let's have two. Oh, we have two kids. I don't know how to do this, and then maybe we're like, well, should we have 3 or 4 or 5, or how many are we going to have? Let's have 3. And then you're like, oh my goodness, what were we thinking? Like, this is hard. And so, sometimes we'll take business, for example. I'll be rolling with business. I'm like, oh my goodness, all these things are happening. And then I might start feeling overwhelmed, and I might start feeling that unworthiness might creep back in. Who am I to tell these people what to do? Who am I to coach so-and-so? Who am I to think I might have the answers? What if I don't have the answers? What if they're paying me money and I don't have the answers? Oh, what if we could find the answers? What if I have a plethora of a network of people who I love dearly that I can reach out to at any time? What if I have a God who does know the answers and who's going to bring the answers for us sometime throughout our journey together? But we can expand our capacity for more, but then close off our reception to it because we start getting scared because it's unknown, it's unfamiliar. We don't know what the heck we're doing. We're figuring it out as we go. But this is where your identity comes back in. If you say that you desire things and then all the things start to happen and you start to close the doors off because it feels like too much and you don't know how to grow into it, you then stop the flow of energy coming to you. So could you do the internal work to such extent that you can keep yourself open to receiving and then finding ways to manage or just lost the word, delegate things, hire people, grow into more. Okay, so your capacity, and then life is forever flowing. It's like an open-ended vessel, allowing the flow of love, of money, of relationships, of success, etc. So are you an open-ended vessel? Does it come in and does it stay? Like sometimes with money, I think we allow it to come in, but we want to hold on to all of it because we're scared we might lose it. Would you let it flow out though? And would you trust that more is coming in? Same with our energy. Would you allow yourself to be filled up and then would you go give to other people? Trusting that it's all here. It's just being transformed through you. We cannot have a tight grip holding on with the fear of losing it. That's not open-ended. That's a closed end. One open, one closed, because we're scared we're going to lose it. I used to do this with my kids. I was so terrified when I had kids of losing them. It would just make me sad. I could barely drive my car down the road for fear of getting in a wreck. And I don't even like letting these words come out of my mouth, but I want you to understand that when I made the decision that these kids are not actually mine, I'm just here to get to foster them, and I say foster them, get to develop them and get to guide them through life. And I just get an opportunity with them. I'm about to cry right now. But when I think about that it's such a gift to get to be in their life, and that they're not actually mine, that one day, you know, there's going to be a small separation between us for a minute, like a physical separation, but I believe our spiritual connection is always so strong, no matter where we're at. And so I was able to overcome that fear, though, and enjoy my kids. I was terrified to enjoy them for the fear of losing them. But now I don't feel that way. I get to love them fully. Same with my husband, you know. But when we have this fear of losing things, it stops us from really living life to the fullest extent and experiencing all of it, because we fear that pain. But here's what I fear more, is going through my entire life and getting to the end of it and saying I didn't do it full out. And so it's my prayer for you too, that you'll have the opportunity to do that in your life, because you'll be able to set your emotions aside, not even set them aside, but work through them and transform them into something where you can experience more joy, more peace, where you can be okay with a deep understanding and a deep knowing that there's goodness in life and there's goodness after life. And I truly believe that to my core. And it's allowed me to be able to let go and to have an open-ended vessel to be able to live differently. I did not see that coming. Okay. Thank you, Lord. All right. We will receive what we are in alignment with and connected to energetically. So you are now experiencing, like, what you experienced today is a historical document of past thinking. So what I see often, and what I experience with myself too, and people close to me and my clients, and why I love working with people long-term, is because we start doing the internal work, we start changing, but we don't see the change happen outside yet. And that feels really frustrating. It's just like when you start working on your health and you're trying to maybe lose weight, you know, and you're starting to eat healthier, you're starting to exercise, and you've lost 1 pound. And you're like, really? I've been doing all this work. And so what you are seeing today is a historical document of your past thinking. So I encourage you to keep going. It takes repetition, repetition, repetition to get over that hump and to start to see things change and seeing them in a different light with a different perspective. And that to become like your natural state. So we desire more. If we desire more, we must allow the currency to flow through from us without restricted energy. Okay. I feel like I got a little emotional now. I'm kind of like out of sorts. But anyhow, okay, that wraps up our day 1. And do you guys have any questions? If you have questions, pop them in the chat over there, or you can take yourself off mute and let me know. I think you can take yourself off mute. But let me know if you have any questions over that so far. So all of this is being recorded. It'll go on a replay that will be sent out here in a little bit. And then tomorrow we're talking about how to raise your frequency. I wanted to lay this really good foundation energetically before we go into the rest of the more like how to and tactical things. So tomorrow is raising frequency, spiritual connection, and mental connection. Okay, guys, are y'all ready for this? We are officially today launching a membership option. So this has been birthed out of a desire to create a community for like-minded people to come into, to feel safe, to feel seen, to feel heard, people who are maybe looking for ideas and solutions that are outside of the mainstream, people who might feel frustrated by what all is happening out there, that are looking for a place to come and to be supported holistically in their mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. So our goals are, we will, when we get the foundations of our physical health in check, then we're able to expand and set higher goals that are accompanied with deep satisfaction and greater impact in the world. So without when we have our physical health, we can set many goals. When we lack our physical health, we only have one goal, and that is to get that back. And so, as I was working in all of this, there's kind of two ends of the spectrum. Some people are very physical health, physical health, physical health. Some people are very much mindset's all that matters. But I think it's both. I feel very strongly it's both. And when you bring in an underlying foundation of spiritual support, I think we're nearly unstoppable. And so I am so excited to bring this in and bring it together. I see mental health struggling a lot, and I'm super happy that it's becoming more mainstream and it's talked about more. And I think I might talk about it in a little bit different way, even than what's being portrayed out there, because so much of what's being portrayed outside of here is, I'm just going to say it, is to drive people to medications, because there's a very strong market for medications. And I have come across a lot of people. I will say this too. I think there's a time and a place for medications, and I'm grateful for them when they're absolutely needed. I think there's so many things that we can do first, and so many areas to look at, even in your physical body, that might explain why you're having some of the mental, emotional, spiritual things that are going on. And so, things like genetic mutations, things like vitamin and mineral deficiency, things like not getting enough sunlight, not getting enough sleep. Your gut health is highly correlated with your brain and the way that you think and your immune system. So there's so many aspects of this. And so this community is meant to be an educational source for you, a place for you guys to come connect also with other like-minded people, other people who are searching, and to feel safe asking questions. I get asked, like, so in massage therapy, I'm in a room by myself with someone in closed doors. And so we have lots of conversations, interesting conversations, and people are so scared to even ask questions like, do you vaccinate your kids? Like, that's taboo. How do you use those oils? Like, what do you actually take for a headache? Or what do you do for this? Or what do you do for that? And I might not have all the answers, which is why I'm super, super excited, because I'm having guest speakers come into this community also to share their specialties. Like, they are specialty experts, professionals in their field, healthcare professionals, counselors, mentors, ministers. We have a lineup, and I am so excited for them to come in and speak with you guys, and for you to know that there are options out there, even in the healthcare field, to see, would this person be a good match to help you with XYZ? I cannot advise people on medications, but I know someone who can. And I know someone who can help you if you're looking to get off of, maybe it's an antidepressant or a whatever it is that you're taking, and you need to titrate off of that correctly. I can't advise you on that, but there are people who can. And so when we can work together, like, I want you to know that in the healthcare field, I truly believe that healthcare professionals want to work with you, and they want to coordinate with each other, and they truly do want the best for you. It is a flawed system. It is not working. They don't have time. They don't have time to do the proper education, to walk you through and be by your side. And I don't know that, I can't promise you that this is going to be the one and only answer for you in your life, but I think there's going to be so many resources in here that you'll be able to help yourself and your family in so many aspects. And I hope that it brings things together in a holistic way that you can start connecting the dots. Because here's the thing, we can't put our health in someone else's hands. They do not have the full picture that you have of your body. They don't know your body like you know your body. They don't know your kid's body like you know your kid's body. They don't have the spiritual connection and the intuition like you have about your own self. And it's not their job. Quite frankly, it's not someone else's job to take care of you. That's your job. That's my job. That's my job as a mom for my kids. So let's provide resources where you can learn, you can have the knowledge, you can ask questions. How do we do this? Like, you said to do these things, but how do I actually do that? Like, here's my situation. How do I do that with this? So I'm so excited to bring this. So, okay, beyond all of this, to do this, to anything sustainable must come from a person with a clear, sound mind, a strong belief in faith, and a foundation of peace. And I want to provide that to you in the mindset piece of what we're putting together here as well, for you to continue on. This program is offered for anyone who is new here, who has not worked with me before. You are welcome to come in here and see what this is all about. I mean, we're gonna talk gut health. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. I'm just like, so excited. So, we're gonna talk about sleeping, more energy, gut health, getting your body to communicate and work in harmony together, all those physical pieces. And then we're also gonna, work on your mindset with building confidence. I work a lot with a lot of people who are working on building their confidence, building up your self-worth, changing your perception of yourself, creating a new identity, creating mental stamina. You're going to need some mental stamina in today's world. So we're going to create that together. We're going to find your joy again. We're going to return to joy. We're going to develop unshakable peace. And all that's going to be with an underlying tone of spiritual connection to our divine maker, because that's where our power comes from. So I'm not here to put religion on you in any way, shape, or form. I want to honor you and the religion that you either have or have chosen not to have. But I will share my spiritual connection, because I believe we're spiritual beings, and we also spiritually connect with each other. So that's kind of what this looks like out there. So this is for anyone new who maybe you have not worked with me before. Maybe you're like, well, I've kind of thought about working with you before, but I wasn't quite sure about, a 6-week or a 6-month commitment. There's no commitment here either. Katie just dropped the link over there in the chat box too, that if you want to go check it out. So there's no contract. You can cancel this at any time. It is a monthly subscription, so it will charge your card every month unless you cancel it. So if you get in here and you don't like it, that's okay. You're not hurting my feelings one bit. So there's that. And it's also for past members. So or past clients. So I've worked with people, and then like, I feel like we need more. We want to continue our relationship together. We want to continue. Might want to continue growing, or you might have done one program, but you didn't do the other program, and you want to work more on your mental health or more on your physical health, or whichever one, like whichever thing that you need more support in. So there is that also. So if you're a past client, like, come jump in here and join us. Like, let's get together. And, our energy is powerful, and especially when we are collectively together and we're learning from each other. So what this looks like is every week we're going to meet at 12 o'clock on Wednesdays via Zoom. And I will be teaching most of the sessions. And then our guest speakers will come in every 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to try to have a guest speaker come in for us to do that. And so the first Wednesday of every month will be on physical health. And I have a whole list of topics that we're going to cover. And then the second week of the month is going to be on mental health. The third week of the month, spiritual health. The fourth week is going to be an integration session. So we're going to bring together the things that we've been working on, not just talk about them. Talking about them is great, but we're actually going to do it together. And we're gonna sit down and do the work. There's also gonna be open Q&A during that time. So this is a time for you to come bring questions, to talk back to me, talk with me, but for us to get to know each other and to be part of the community. So you'll get more emotional impact out of being on those sessions live and doing that. So all of these will be recorded. They'll be placed in a vault for you to go access at any time. That vault is actually already created. There's a welcome video waiting for you inside of there. And so that's kind of what this looks like. So if you are also, another thing, if you come in and you are like, I want to start the membership and kind of see how it goes, and then I might want to work with you further, or you decide like, wow, I need a lot more help. I need more one-on-one help, or I would like to do, like the whole transform course or whatever. We can take a portion of your investment in the membership and apply it to a program or to one-on-one coaching or whatever further support that you need. So I love being able to offer that as well. And And then Katie James, my assistant, is going to be your point of contact for this. I'll be teaching all the classes, but if you need help with your account or, what time the Zooms are, where the links are, if you need any other support, if you have family or friends that you want to invite into this membership, she has links that she can share with you, that you can pass along to them. You can even copy and paste what's in the chat box over here. But yeah, so she is going to help me kind of run the behind the scenes of the membership. And so she'll be your point of contact if you need anything. Her email is going to be inside the vault for you. And then she's also on Facebook if you want to connect with her there through Messenger. So yeah, you'll have that support as well. And okay, it is, I guess you might want to know what this is going to cost you. So it's $95 a month for the membership. It is less than $100 a month. So I am so excited to bring something that is affordable for people to do, that is, budget friendly, cost effective, and time effective too. Like if you don't have time to be on a bunch of Zooms and do a whole bunch of work and all of this stuff, and you just need something quick and implementable, this is for you. So it's 1 hour a week. And then, like I said, those will be put in a vault. There'll also be extra resources. So we have exclusive resources that we're going to be putting in your vault as well. Links, when we have guest speakers on, I'll put all their information in there for you. Anything that we suggest in our videos, all of that stuff. I hope, my goal is for this to far exceed your expectations. So there's going to be a lot of information in there for you to dig through and watch through and see what helps you. So $95 for the month on that. And I have something special for you though. So we are offering a founding members price of $75 for this month. And I'm so excited to have you guys come in and be part of this. So for $75 for our founding members, I want to honor you. I want to thank you for taking a chance and being part of it. So $75 a month, and that's what this link that Katie put in the chat box will get you, the $75 membership for that. So, and then one more specialty thing. Well, actually, I guess there's two. So if you join by Monday, we're going to have a bonus sneak peek session on Monday. And during this session, I'm going to walk you through all of the ways that we support our body through sickness. So when we feel sick, we get down, we get behind. Sickness halts progress immensely. So how do we support our bodies through the winter months or when we're sick? How do we do that in a natural way? So I'm going to share that. I'm going to break all that down on our Zoom on Monday. So this will be a sneak peek Zoom. If you join by Monday, you will have access to that. That Zoom session will not go in the vault. That will be a specifically special Zoom for our members who decide to join before then, just as a thank you. So there's that. And then also, if you join today on the call today, then you will receive our Overcoming Anxiety webinar. So that is I think it's 2 hours long. I don't know. Anyhow, it is a webinar that I did over just how to overcome anxiety. I feel like that's something that a lot of us deal with. And so I want to offer that to you as well. So if you use the link over here in the chat box to purchase your membership while we're on this call, or today, I know we're wrapping the call up. I'm already 2 minutes over. But if you get the vault purchase by today, I'll say by midnight tonight, then I will send you the Overcoming Anxiety webinar. You'll get it at $75 a month for life. The $75 a month isn't just for this month. Like your membership for life in that program will be $75 a month until you cancel it. And then if you cancel and then you want to re-sign back up, it'd be the $95. But that's for life, for the life of your program. So let's say you sign up by tonight, you get the Overcoming Anxiety webinar for free. You get the $75 founding members price for life, and you'll be included on our Zoom session on Monday, the sneak peek bonus session into how we support our body through the winter and through sickness. So all of those are our bonuses that are happening today. So yeah, that's what we have for you. And I'm itching to get in there and get this thing rolling because I think you're going to be really surprised by the lineup of people we have coming to speak and the content that's going to be in there and the community of people that are going to be in there. Because man, I've had some awesome clients and I have some awesome people I'm in contact with, and I'm super excited for you guys to meet each other and to be supported by each other as well. Okay, if you have questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And yeah, let us know if there's anything else that we can support you in. We'll send out the replay soon via email, and then we will see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Thank you guys for being on today, and we'll see you then.